Jesus is saying, stop making giving transactional. Stop making it about, oh, if I give God 5%, he will give me 15%. God is not an MMM scheme. God is not a genie in a bottle. God is not some man that you invest your money. You've probably heard the text, give and it will be given unto you. I'm sure if you're like me or you've had similar experiences as I've had, this is a text that is typically read before offering and tithe. Now, I'm actually not here to offend anybody, right? But I would like for us to dive into this text to see exactly what it was saying. Was Jesus speaking about tithe and offering, or did we give it our own interpretation? Now, this text was gotten from the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 38, where Jesus says, give and it will be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaking together, and running over, will men give into or unto your bosom. When we look at this text, I want us to go back to what I've said in the previous videos, the key types of context to consider when you are interpreting a text. The first is the historical context. The second is the cultural context. Then you have the linguistic context, then the literary context. When we're looking at this particular verse, Jesus was speaking to an audience that were not thinking about tithe or offering. They were thinking about the application of what Jesus was saying in everyday dealings. Remember that this text does not start from verse 38, but before 38, there were other verses that was leading to this give. In verse 36 of this chapter, Jesus speaks about forgiveness, judging, giving. He says, forgive and you will be forgiven. Judge not and you will not be judged. Condemn not and you will not be condemned. Then he said, give and it will be given unto you. Historically speaking, the original audience were living in a time when giving in the temple had become transactional. So people were giving to gain some form of temple favor. It was temple politics at play. The Pharisees, for example, will give a lot of money in the temple because they wanted to gain favor or social reputation. The more you gave, the more popular you became amongst the people. The more you gave, the more favor you found in the eyes of the leaders. Imagine people that didn't give so much. They were considered nothing. When Jesus was speaking about the measurement, it was something that was very common amongst the traders at the time. When they wanted to measure grains, they would use baskets. They would put the grains in the basket, press it, shake it over again, just so that they could have honest measurement. Now, Jesus is using this analogy, good measure, pressed down, shaking together, and running over. He's talking about honest measurement, honest dealing. He's saying that the same way the traders would measure the grains, that approach that the traders applied to the abundance is the same way God is going to measure to people based on their dealings. So if you want to find favor in the eyes of God, if you want to find favor in the eyes of men, it is expedient that you consider the way you are dealing with people around you. When we look at the linguistic context, when Jesus said, give and it shall be given unto you, the word it implies that there was something that he was speaking about before he came to that particular moment. What were the things Jesus was speaking about? He was speaking about not condemning, not judging, extending mercy to people, extending forgiveness to people willingly. And so the it in this context was not money, but it was about emotional expansion. It was about psychological expansion. And it was about giving love to people around you abundantly with the same measure. And so that means that Jesus was saying to these people, that thing that you are expecting to receive from God, that thing that you are expecting to receive from people around you, give it to people abundantly with honest measure, pressed down, shaking together. Don't stop doing what is good. This brings us to the literary context. Literally speaking, Jesus was saying that that mentality that people had when they would think about giving as some form of transactional action had to be abolished. He was turning the tables upside down. He was introducing us to an upside down world, to the new world, to the new age. These were principles and are principles that are in accordance with the new age. He's saying that if you want to give love, you must give it abundantly. If you want to give mercy, you must give mercy abundantly. If you don't want to be condemned, make it a habit to not spend time condemning people. Make it a habit to extend mercy as often and as lavishly as possible. So Jesus wasn't giving us a phrase that we should use before giving tithe and offering. He was talking to us about our dealings with people around us. He was saying, for example, if you are a business owner or a boss, give people their credit. If you are a leader, show mercy to people. It means that in friendship, take away the scale, love lavishly, love with all your heart. And sometimes you might not receive that love from the people that you have loved, but God, in His mercy, that measures honestly and gives us abundantly, is more than able to send people your way that will extend love and will extend the help that you need in your time of need. Jesus is saying, stop making giving transactional. Stop making it about, oh, if I give God 5%, He will give me 15%. God is not an MMM scheme. God is not a genie in a bottle. God is not some man that you invest your money so that He can give you a heavy return. God wants us to love because we have been loved lavishly. So the next time we're even singing about the lavish love of God, I want you to ask yourself, do I love lavishly? Am I lavishly merciful? Do I spend my time condemning? Am I willing to forgive quickly? These are the things that Jesus challenges the first audience and now you and I to do. It is more than giving money. It is more than giving tithe. And I'm not saying that these things are not important, but Jesus is saying, even in our giving, let it be without a transactional mindset. Give love, condemn not. And with the same measure, it will be measured unto you. I hope this helps. God bless you.